So we will be working on grammar first. We'll be starting with different types of nouns. So here we will precisely look into countable and uncountable nouns. All right. And then I will show you different types of sentences, which would be again pretty simple because this is not simple compound complex sentence that we'll be doing today. We'll be doing, assertive, exclamatory, and then imperative, etc. And how we can convert one type of sentence to the other type of sentence without changing the meaning. All right. So let's quickly start here. This is a very short note that I have made, and then I'll be showing you from the book pages. All right. So eyes on the screen, have a look at this concept. I hope everyone is following. Now here, this is noun, and we all know what a noun is, right? Noun is the name of any items, right? Any name that is given to an object becomes a noun. So now these nouns can be countable and these nouns can be uncountable. So Anahita, do you know the difference between countable and uncountable noun? So countable noun, as the name suggests, it's something that you can count, right? So can you count your fingers, Anahita? Can you count the number of hair strands in your hair, on your head? Can you count the hair on your head? No. So hair is an uncountable noun, and fingers would be countable nouns. Okay. So now when we have to denote it with a quantity, if we are, using adjective of quantity, which of these verbs are we going to use? Because it becomes, you're going to say, I have 5 fingers, right? But will you say I have 5 hair on my head? No. Right? So when you're being specific, you're going to use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you don't know the exact number, like the number of cars on road right now, you don't know. Yes, Kian? Nothing? Okay. Cars can be counted, yes or no? Children?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So cars can be counted, but since we can't count the car right now, can we guess the amount of cars on the road? Right? There are many cars, or there are fewer cars, or there are what word are you going to use? So that is where we are working today. Will you say there are much cars on the street, Kian? No. So that is why if you have a look on the first section, I will be marking it with a red color. These are the countable noun, a few examples that I have shared. You can count cars, you can even count houses, right? How many houses are there on the street? You can count the lollies. Can you count money? Kids, can we count money?
Yes.
Of course, right?
Yes, ma'am, in rupee.
Any currency the country has, but we can. That is why we were doing trillion, billion concept in the previous class, right? What is 1 million, billion, etc. Next is pencils, pens. We can count them, but if I want you to estimate, have a look at this. How many pencils do you see? You can't count, but would you say? Yeah,
Many.
that's the word. Correct. There are many pencils. Will you say there are much pencils? Okay. Will you say there are little pencils, or will you say there are less pencils?
Less.
So can you say how many pens do you see? So can you predict? Will there be less pens or little pens?
Less pens.
But less
ma'am, we
pens.
can even say the number of it.
Yeah, but since I've told you, you can't count because I asked you immediately. I did not give you that chance to count. All right. So then we have to use an adjective to denote that quantity, and we have to be very careful. Now you may be wondering, ma'am, it's such a silly topic. We all know when to use many and much. But when I give you some questions, these questions are going to be very difficult and confusing. So you should know where to use these adjectives appropriately. Now, I can't see few kids, their camera is off. So Ayantika, Reyansh, if it is possible, and I switch on the camera. Okay, Samaira, did you just join? Okay, so we are doing nouns may countable and uncountable. Countable nouns would be something that you can count. Uncountable nouns are rice, hair, sugar, salt, etc. Okay, so what adjective you are going to use with countable and uncountable nouns, that is what we'll be working on in our class today. So here, this is all for countable and this is all for uncountable. So I'm going to say there are many cars on the road. I'm going to say there are few kids present in the class today. Will I say there are less kids in the class today? We often make that mistake, children. Grammatically, it is wrong. Okay? We will say there are few kids in the class today because we can count the number of kids. All right. Now, suppose if mama has made some rice today and there would be little rice left. So will I say there are few rice left, or will I say there are less rice or lesser rice or little rice? What am I going to say?
There is
Tharv. The class is being recorded. Yes. We will say less, right? Okay. But we will not say fewer, because when I denote few, which means I can count it. So do you think rice is a countable noun, Reyansh? You can count the number of rice on your plate?
No, ma'am.
No. Can I count my hair, Reyansh?
No, ma'am.
Okay. But suppose if I am an optician, okay? I have an optical shop, right? Where I'm selling glasses. All right. Most of us wear glasses. Even I wear glasses. Today I'm not wearing. Okay? So, and if you are a shopkeeper there, you will say the business went very good today. There are bad spectacles left. Go on mute, Ayantika.
I want to tell you something.
In the middle of the class, is it that urgent?
Yes.
Okay, say Athar. So now I'll say that the day went wonderfully well. I have sold almost all the spectacles except kids, except
Of you.
yes, except
Except
of
of
you
you.
or except few. Will I say except little? Ayantika, can you please go on mute? Ayantika,
Mama.
go on mute. You go on mute, Ayantika. You're disturbing the class. Yes. So my kids are not with me today. They are somewhere else. All right. That is the reason why there's a confusion. So coming back to the usage of few, many, etc. Is it clear, children? समझ में आ रहा है? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Next is a large amount of data. Now, can you count data? Do you know what data is?
Yes,
Computer
ma'am.
data. What is data, Reyansh?
Ma'am, data is the memory of computer, like the storage thing of computer.
So if I am being specific to computer, then I'll say it is something related to computer. But can data be said as fact, information, etc.? Can I say data is also facts, data generated, the information that you have collected? It can also be data, right?
Yes.
So can you count the data? Can you count the information that you have gathered from public in a survey? Can you count it, or it's uncountable?
It's countable.
How do you count it?
Ma'am, like some things represents, like if there is a smiley and says 5, so we can count it by 5.
Yeah, so that is why you are exactly right, Reyansh. Children, when I take a survey, I'm definitely counting the number of people I have interviewed. So I will have the data that I have gathered this information from 10 people. Agree? So what am I going to say? I have a large amount of data, right? So if you can see here, a large number of and a large amount of, it's common. Countable के लिए भी and uncountable के लिए. Yes? Yeah? Okay, so now there would be a confusion for you all that when should I use little, when should I use a little, and where should I use the little? Do we need to learn the usage? No. As per me, we should not learn the rules. If you are reading the book and if you are actually using it in your general daily conversation, automatically you are going to understand that this is sounding wrong. Okay? Don't learn the rules in grammar. Okay? Next is few, a few, the few. And then last is much, many, several, both. I'm going to show it to you from the resource that I have. Okay. Here you go. Okay. This particular page is from Renan Martin book, but I want to simplify it for you guys. So I'm not referring to this. I am referring to the next note that I have. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Now, there are words which we use with uncountable nouns. So uncountable nouns, which would be much, little, a little, as I have already discussed. And for countable, many, a few, etc. Now let's have a let's read these examples. Little, a little, and the little refers to a very small quantity of uncountable noun. So whenever you have uncountable nouns, there you will be using little. Now, is it just little, a little, or the little? Where to use that? It's a very important thing. So I want you to focus. Are you guys listening? So I'll just ask Ayantika. Ayantika, is
Yes,
everything
ma'am.
fine there? Are you listening?
What?
Is everything fine?
No,
So are you able to concentrate?
no.
Okay, then you have to call someone for help. Okay.
I don't want to do the class.
Okay, then bye, Ayu.
No.
Bye. Okay. So then we have little. The beggar had little hope of getting food. We use little when the quantity is actually very little, almost non-existent, and we use little in a negative sense. When you have no hope, you will say, the beggar had little hope of getting food. Now, my question to Anay is, we all watch cricket match, okay? When you have high hopes that Australia is going to win, we have very less hope or zero hope for India to win the World Cup. So how are you going to use little in your sentence? Very easy. After Anay.
I had little hope that Australia would lose.
Ah, very good. Anvika, is there any other way for you to construct this sentence?
Yeah, ma'am.
Go ahead. Yes, Anay, I'll take that answer.
There was
Okay, Anay.
very little hope that
There was very little, क्यों लगा रहे हो ना? Very mat lagao. There was little hope that India would win the World Cup.
there was little hope that India would win a.
Yeah. And anything else you would want to add?
No, I was going to say that.
Yes. So he said the other way around in favor of, he made Australia, he used the keyword Australia, but if we were using for India, what we will say. So when we just say little, we are using it in a negative way. There's little hope that he's going to pass the exam, which means there is no hope at all. Now, next is a little. A little का मतलब हो जा रहा है कि when there is actually a positive hope that someone is going to win. A little hope, okay? We use a little when the quality is slightly more, but not very much in quantity, okay? When you have a little more than what you had, it is also used in a positive sense. We can complete this project with a little help from the teacher. A little, okay? Next is the little. The little, when the quantity is not very large, but we are referring to all of it. Now, everything that you had with you, although it's a very small number, but you know it is small, that is the reason why you are saying little, but you're using all of the little amount of anything that you had, so you will say the little. I know ये बहुत confusing लग रहा है, क्या बोल रहे हो? Let's see. The hungry travelers ate the little food they had left, which means they ate all the food that they had, but although it was a very less amount of food that he had. Got it? Yes or no, kids? Next. When to use few, a few, and the few. Now, when we were talking about little, it was for uncountable nouns. Okay? When I'm talking about few, kids, it is about countable nouns, okay? Like the cars on the street, the pencils in your pencil box, the number of children in the bus, correct? So today it's a holiday. So there are today is not a holiday, but since it's been raining, most of the kids have fallen sick and there are only few children in the bus. Am I right? Correct? Am I right in the usage? But can I say there are little children in the bus? Ever? अब आपको difference समझ में आया? When to use countable and when to use not uncount, when to use these words during countable and uncountable nouns, correct? Sometimes we say I have a little brother or a little sister. Is it a correct way of saying that? Anyone here can correct the sentence that I am saying? Anahita, would you like to? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a younger sister.
Yeah, we always say
Ma'am, can I
younger.
try after Nahida?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a brother, I have a small sister.
We will not say small, little, because we are not measuring their height, firstly. How small something is. Are we measuring the height or we are just saying, yes, Samira?
I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
Always say younger, elder, okay? Younger or elder, okay? Never say I have a little brother at home who annoys me. You may be hearing it a lot, but it's wrong English. Okay, Netik? Okay, Netik, do you have any younger cousin or an elder sibling or an elder cousin anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We don't have cousins.
I
Okay.
have a cousin, but he is not in my house.
But is he younger to you or elder to you?
Elder.
So what will you say? I have a big brother, or you will say I have an elder brother?
I'll say I have an elder brother.
But we always say I have a big brother, okay? Most of the times we make that mistake. Not anymore. I'm sure you kids don't make that mistake. Chalo, next. Now, let's have a look at these words. When to use few, when to use a few, and when to use the few. Anay, do you know the difference between them? Okay, so let's learn it today. Now, it's definitely used for countable nouns. Okay, so I will not be saying I have few hair on my head. Will I say I'll have few hair on my head? What will I say? I have little hair on my head? Tell me, what should I say?
I have less hair on my head.
I can say I have less hair, or I think less is a good, and I have quite a lot of hair.
Little hair.
I have large amount of hair. Now see, now how are you going to use? Have a look here, kids. I'm highlighting it with a yellow marker. Quickly see. Let's see that we have to use an adjective with hair. Now hair is uncountable, right? So you can use any of these keywords, but not all is going to fit, right? Not every word is going to be correctly used there, right? So now for hair, which adjective out of these can you use? Hello, Anay, batao. Kian, batao.
A large amount of.
Ma'am, I have a little hair.
I have a little hair नहीं होगा ना, बिल्कुल नहीं.
A large amount of.
A large amount of hair.
I
I have lost. So okay, let's make a good sentence. Okay, and it is an interesting sentence in a way because it's also dealing with an issue. Okay, so it's a serious sentence. A person who is undergoing chemotherapy. We all know what's a chemotherapy is. Are you guys aware of chemotherapy? A person who has cancer and is undergoing a treatment, he takes chemotherapy, all right? And in that process, in that therapy, they lose a lot of hair. So a large amount of hair, a patient or whatever, however you can use it in a sentence. Can you frame that sentence for me right now? I've given that situation to you. Try it out.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yeah, try. Kids, it's very
Ma'am,
important.
patients.
I want you to use this scenario, make a sentence, type it in the chat box. I want you to make the sentence, okay? Please, Samaira, everybody, Netik, go ahead. Yes, Anvika?
No, I was trying to say that patients lose a large amount of hair during their cancer operation, cancer
Treatment. Okay, a patient having cancer has lost a large amount of hair during the treatment. Okay, a patient having cancer, मेरे को थोड़ा सा having cancer वाला गड़बड़ लग रहा है. बाकी it's good. Try to reconstruct it. Because you know what, Anay, what is the problem here? Although it's absolutely fine, but as we become, wiser with age, we have to use minimum amount of word and the sentence should be really an interesting one, which means right now avoid a lot of words and try to make a short and crisp, interesting sentence. Okay? Kian, I'm waiting for you. अन्नया ने पहले भी लिखा है lost a large amount of hair. Okay. And Anahita, are you trying? Is it difficult to follow? Samaira, is it difficult to follow? So please type now. A patient, that was the first one, right? The patient with cancer lost a large amount of hair in chemotherapy. Okay, spelling is okay, but a cancer patient, we can always say, right? The patient with cancer, instead of that, we can always say a cancer patient loses a large amount of hair during chemotherapy. ठीक है? ठीक है, रेयांश, ये आपके सेंटेंस का I've edited it. All right. A patient suffering from cancer. A patient suffering from cancer has lost a large amount of hair. Now, Kian, I want to analyze your sentence and I hope you're listening. See, there is no problem with your sentence, but since it is a fact, right, and it is not an opinion, you have to present it even well. Now, let's work on your sentence. A patient suffering from cancer has lost, but we know it is a fact. So you cannot use has lost here. Loses. Okay? A patient suffering from cancer generally loses a large amount of hair. Can you edit that sentence, Kian? Yeah? ठीक है, नैतिक का sentence. A patient having cancer loses. Now, Naitik has already written what I have asked Kian to write, but don't write a patient having cancer. Write a cancer patient loses a large amount of hair. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic here, which is where to use few, a few, and the few. Eyes on the screen. Let me zoom it out. So a few, few, and the few is used for countable nouns. Why am I taking this topic? Firstly, is a lot of questions on, on this topic comes in Olympiad. And then it becomes so difficult to समय, so confusing. What should I do? Ma'am, few hoga ki a little hoga. But now that you know the difference, you will not make that mistake. Okay. Now we use few when again the number is small, just like little. Okay, and it is used in a negative sentence. Few students turned up, which means not many, not many. All right, like few students turned up in my class yesterday, so I had to cancel the class. No, I had to just stop the class because there were hardly any kids. Okay, it's something that happened with me yesterday. Next, a few players. Now when I'm talking about a few, which means certainly it is more than few, but again not very much, but you're trying to give a positive touch to it, that you are not expecting a lot of kids to come in your class. A few of them came, so I'm happy, I'm delighted. Got it? Now the few, when the number is not large, but again it is just like the little. The few is referring to the total amount of whatever you had. Okay? The little girl treasured the few gifts which she got on her birthday. Next is when to use much, when to use many, several, and both. Now, much. Much is used for uncountable nouns. I don't have much hair. Since we have taken that topic of hair, we are going to say after undergoing chemotherapy, after undergoing the chemotherapy session, let's take any name like Meera didn't have much hair on her head. Correct? Many hair to nahi bol sakte na? Right? Kids? Yes? Next. So when I'm using much, it shows a large quantity. So there was much confusion over the date of exam. Can you count confusion? How much confusion is in your head? Can you count confusion, Anahita? I'm quite confused. Can you count it, right? You can't. So that is why we will be using quite confused, or, yahan par it's much confusion. Now, confusion here is a noun. And when I say quite confused, there, what am I referring to? Adjective? Don't say ed laga hai to verb. Anay? Yes? A lot of times we have ed, but since again, it doesn't imply it's a verb. We all know that. Yeah. Coming to the next one, many. Many is used with countable. Many people are currently in Ayodhya to celebrate the inauguration of Ram Mandir. Right? So many people like to go to the hills during summer. Many is used with countable nouns. Several is used to show a number that is neither like not very little and not very large. So several cars were parked. Now, since it has been associated with cars, we know car is a countable noun. Anay, aap has kyun rahe ho? Anay? Okay. All right. So several would be used with a countable noun. Several people assembled for a team meet or anything. Would you like to use several in your sentence? Anyone would like to? Who wants to say? Anay wants to say? Unmute.
Mom, can I
I
spell?
would like to use several in my sentence.
Okay, say several, Jaldi. Samaira can also try. Naitik also try. Anahita, why are you sad? Anahita, why are you sad? You sent a sad smiley.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, by mistake, maybe. Okay. Several. Use it in a sentence. Yes, Samara?
There
Mom,
are
can I
several
try?
galaxies in the universe.
What, Samara?
There are several galaxies in the universe.
Acha. Now, can we count galaxies firstly? Yes, maybe. We can. Can we count the stars? No. So what am I going to use for stars if I can't count? But we always say there are many, many stars in the sky, isn't it? We always say there are many stars in the sky. So now tell me, can we count many hair on my head? I'm just trying to say all the wrong words so that you know the difference. Who would like to correct? Come on, try, kids. Think. There are several ways to reach school. Yes, Anahita, since we can count the route. Very good. नैतिक आप भी लिखो कुछ.
Mom,
Yes, Anvika, go ahead. Okay, I'll give you some time to think on it. There are several places to visit in India, right? Because we can count the number of places. So I would
Mom,
not
we
say.
can also say several people.
Yeah.
Several people gathered in front of the building as the building got fire.
Yeah, you can say. But not many. You also have to understand that it should not be less and not many also. It has to be in between. So when the building has caught fire, of course, the entire building has to be evacuated. We cannot say several. We can say several people came to rescue, which means that there were not a large amount of people and even less number of people. But several people came to rescue them. Okay, there are several students in my class, not
Ma'am,
several.
I tried to say that
Anaida,
several
use the
people,
correct noun.
people
Okay?
gathered in front of.
Yeah. So there are several students in my class, but I will not like that sentence because we know the exact amount of kids in a class. So you may say several school students gathered for assembly, something like that. But in the class, you cannot say there are several students. Okay. Last, both is used when there are two nouns and both are referring to. So both Damini and Sriparna performed in the school concert. I think both is very easy for everybody, correct? Now, next confusion that arises is when to use elder and older. ठीक है? ये बता सकता है कोई मुझे आज? I have several Pokemon cards. Very good, Netik. Now, who can tell me this? What is the difference between elder and older?
Mom, I guess elder is used for age and older is used for a thing.
Yeah, you are somewhere correct. I would say 90% right. Now, let's read it, okay? Now, here, 157, if we read, number 157, okay? Older, oldest may be said either for person or things. But when it is elder and eldest, it is always to a person. Okay? We may say that he's older, he's my oldest brother. Technically, we can say, but always try to use elder, eldest. But you cannot say it is an elder grandfather's clock in my house, right? It's an object, clock. You will always say it's old. Correct? So let me read it out again. I hope you guys are not dreaming. Are you guys dreaming? Kian to sabse pehle bola nahi. Okay. Older and oldest may be said either for person or for thing. It's an older car, something like that. But when you're using older, you're comparing it. It's older than yours. Something like that. Can I say my car is elder to you? Come on. Technically, never. But you're like, why are you teaching me all these things when it doesn't make sense, ma'am? The only reason I'm saying is, when you have that confusion, should I say older brother or elder brother? So keep in mind that older or elder may be said for person or things. Okay, but elder is the right. It's the better option. Okay. Okay. Next, how many of you know the meaning of verbal? Verbal. Verbal. Verbally. Come on, tell me. Verbally.
I don't know it exactly, but I can guess.
Guess. Yes. Go ahead. Hurry up.
Ma'am, verbally, like verbal means by speaking by mouth.
Then what is oral? What is oral?
Ma'am, verbal means orally.
No, there's a difference between verbal and oral. And that is why we always make this mistake. And this is something even I learned while I was going through this article, and I want to share it with you. Verbally का मतलब होता है words. ठीक है? And it is not something that you are delivering from your mouth. Say verbally, which means through words. Let's read 161. Verbal is often wrongly used for oral, which means that अभी आप लोग ने जो मुझे बताया, which is the same confusion that everybody has, that verbal means orally when we say by mouth, but no, that's not true. Verbal means pertaining to words. Oral means delivered by mouth and not written. So if you have a verbal text, which means it's a written text, and you have to orally say it. ठीक है, or convert it into an oral form. Hence, the opposite of written is oral and not verbal. So what is the synonym for written, kids? If you were paying attention, आप अभी answer दे दोगे.
Ma'am, verbal.
Written.
Who said verbal सबसे पहले?
Ma'am, Reyansh.
पक्का Ryansh was not sleeping. He was attentive. Very good, Ryansh. And written का synonym written कैसे होगा, अनविका? मैंने तो पूछा ही है, what is the synonym for written?
Ma'am, I thought you asked verbal synonym.
Wow, did I say verbal ka synonym verbal? Very good. Which means 100% you were not paying attention.
Sorry, ma'am.
No problem. Now, we always say our mutual friend. It's again a conversation, English conversation, where we make that mistake. Okay? Try to understand. 162. Do not say our mutual friend. The proper expression is our common friend. Okay? Got it? We always have mutual friends on Facebook and Instagram, social media. They always write it, mutual friends. But actually it's common friends. Okay. So now coming back to the next topic, you will have to do the exercise as homework. We will not be solving it right now. Let's do these different type of sentences. It's very easy. It's grade 1 level. Okay. So pay attention. Okay. But it would not be that easy. First type of sentence is assertive or declarative. You should know the names because in Olympiad, they ask you which sentence type it is. Then you should know, acha, declarative hota kya hai. Okay? So assertive and declarative, they will always state a fact or an opinion. So the sun is round is a fact. I like orange juice is an opinion. Okay? But they're assertive and they're declarative. It can again be negative or positive. Positive sentence doesn't have the keyword not in it, ya un in it. Whereas negative sentences, they have. Okay, I am going to figure out who is dreaming right now. अब जो camera off है, उसका I cannot say anything, but chalo, Naisha, interrogative sentence. Do you know what does interrogation means? What does it mean? Interrogation. The police generally interrogates people. Yeah, question and I. Yes. You know, I'm very good at reading lips. Yeah, you know, ma'am. Yes. So interrogation means asking questions. Generally, policemen, they do that. They interrogate a lot. Okay? So interrogative sentence would mean question. The sentences are ending in a question mark. What is your name? Can I help you? Whenever the answer comes as yes or no, it's an interrogative sentences. Now, these are the keywords. The WH questions like who, what, when, these are the keywords we all know. इससे अगर sentence start हो रहा है तो वो interrogative sentence है. All right. And sometimes even auxiliary verbs help you to construct an interrogative sentence like shall I come in? May I go out? Could you please help me? Right, children? Yes? Okay. Next page. Imperative sentence.
Ma'am,
Now there is...
if any sentence ends with a question mark, it's an interrogative sentence.
Yeah. Now listen, next sentence is exclamatory and imperative. It is very confusing. Anay, do you know the difference between imperative and exclamatory? Or you get confused at times?
I get confused.
How about Kian?
I don't know what are those.
Okay, let me brief you then. Just a second. Let me brief you. How about Anahita? Do you know the difference between imperative and exclamatory? Naisha, Netik, and Samaira. The younger set of kids. And Rayansh, do you know the difference? Sort of?
Yes, ma'am, a little bit.
Okay. Samaira wants to say something. Go ahead, Samaira.
Ma'am, I know exclamatory, that which shows something surprised or feelings.
Correct.
Strong.
Yes. Very good. Agree. Correct. Now see. If someone tells me that exclamatory sentences would be ending with an exclamation mark, all exclamatory sentence ends with a question mark. Okay? Like, how beautiful the sky is. Okay? You are saying something, you're expressing a very strong emotion, like you find it extremely beautiful. So you're stressing on it. And when you stress, you use an exclamation mark. So exclamation mark generally हम use करते हैं जब हम बहुत जोर से कुछ बोल रहे हैं. And that is the reason why when we are reading books, children, we have to pay attention to the punctuation because we are not watching the movie. We have to read it. So how would I know that the author is implying something? He's stressing, he's in anger. How would I know? Or how would I know that he is in a very happy and a jolly mood? With the help of these exclamations mark as well as the words. So I may be very angry and I will say, now, it's an exclamatory sentence, yes or no? Please, everyone focus. Naisha, on the screen. How rude of you. Am I being happy or am I being rude? Or am I being angry?
Rude.
Like, if I say how rude of you, it means that you have certainly annoyed me. Correct? It is exclamatory sentence. It's expressing your emotion. Your emotions can be happy or sad. But with the help of this word rude, it tells us that we are in a very bad mood. How beautiful the sky is. We are in a jolly mood. Right? Ab samajh mein aaya? Aapko exclamatory sentence? Now, when I talk about imperative sentence, sometimes imperative sentence maybe I can use an exclamation mark. So don't give me that difference that, ma'am, exclamatory sentence will always end with an exclamation mark, whereas imperative sentence will not. Last hai ye. Please attention though. Last hai ye. Okay? It's very difficult for us to stay focused. So, imperative sentence generally starts with a bossy verb. That's the first way to identify. And I will tell us what bossy verb is.
No idea.
No idea? And Kian knows what's a bossy verb?
No idea.
Oh God, seriously? Anyone else in the class knows what's a bossy verb?
No.
Okay, chalo, let me tell
No,
you then.
ma'am. No idea.
Okay. If any sentence is starting with a verb, the sentence is beginning with a verb, means that I'm being bossy. Generally, mothers are bossy, correct? And
Yes.
elder siblings are bossy. Do I say like this? Anay, please ये कर लो. नहीं, मैं बोलूंगी इसको करो जल्दी से. Right? So I am saying the verb. That's the first thing that comes out.
Being bossy.
Being bossy doesn't mean that I'm being harsh, I just give the instructions, which means I'm not going to call your name, which definitely means that I will not have a noun in my verb, like not noun, but I'll not have the main object in my verb, main subject, like the person in my sentence. I will not have the sentence in my verb. Sorry, in my sentence. Chalo. Do this now. Did I say Kian do this now?
No.
No.
I just said do this now. Is it a bossy sentence? Am I sounding like a boss?
Yes. Yes.
So if your sentence is going to start with a verb and there is nothing in front of it, that verb is known as a bossy verb. Now everyone is going to give me one sentence each. Hurry up. Starting with Anahita. Imagine you're talking to your younger sister and she's done something to annoy you. What are you going to answer her back?
Ma'am, can I try?
After her, certainly. So, Anvika.
Stop it right now.
See, you said stop. Stop is a verb. Stop it now. Isn't it? So you are being bossy. Okay, so stop it now. This is an imperative sentence. Next, Anvika.
Do the laundry right now.
Yeah, again, do is a verb. Your sentence is beginning with a verb. So Anay often asks Neve to do the laundry right now. Yes? Next. Okay. Anvika, bolo. Huh?
Change it.
Change it now.
Ma'am,
Revansh, just a second, ruko, Anvika. Did you say that? Change it now?
Yes,
Were you meaning to say change the TV channel now? By any chance?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that we do. Netflix may change it now. I don't want to watch this series. Okay, Anvika, next.
get out of my room right now.
See, again you said get out of the room, bhaiya. Matlab, this is how exactly you tease your brother. Okay, now the secret is out, Anvika. Yes, Anvika?
No, Mama, just made a sentence.
See, I'm just kidding. Okay, don't take it to your heart. Okay, so get is
No, ma'am.
again a verb. And Naisha, would you like to go ahead? Bolo.
But ma'am, it can also be a normal word for a sentence. Depends.
Yeah. Say, Naisha. Bolo. Say now.
Don't annoy me.
Don't annoy me. Okay. Can you try something else? Because, I will not say don't. Do not, right? Do not annoy me, which is again sort of a verb. But try to use a vivid verb. ठीक है? Clear verb से start होना चाहिए. Run now. Anything like that. Naisha, work on your sentence. Samaira, yeah, Naisha, अगर आपको आ गया तो आप अभी बोलो, नहीं तो Samaira.
Brush your teeth right now.
Yes. So these are all bossy verbs. Now, do you know the difference? So imperative sentences would be starting with bossy verb. Okay. Next. Imperative sentence, that was just one way to say. The next usage is you make a request. Please open the door. That is again your imperative sentence. Okay? You will say command. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको बोला. Generally command में bossy verb आता है. Okay, Naitik? Got it, children? Now do you know the difference? Yes, ma'am. Now the transformation of sentence is very important. First transformation is assertive to interrogative. Assertive का मतलब है it's a declarative sentence, like it is stating a fact or your opinion. अब आपको उसको question mark वाले sentence में convert करना है. How are you going to do that? He is an honest man. What is the shortest way to convert it into a question? जो helping verb है उससे start करो. Isn't he an honest man? Right? She doesn't like sushi. Again, does she like sushi? Understood, children? How are we going to convert an assertive sentence into question mark? Let's try to say, if there is an auxiliary verb, how are we going to do it? Okay, we will play. Won't we play? Now, you have to move the the auxiliary verb in the beginning, and you can convert it to an interrogative sentence. We shall not play today. Let's make it an interrogative sentence. Shall we not play today? Correct? समझ में आया? Kids, please tell me yes or no.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Next, he read the book. Did he read the book? Or didn't he read the book? Both is valid. Okay. She completes her homework. Wait. She completes her homework on time. Make it into a question mark.
Doesn't she complete her homework on time?
Ma'am,
Does she complete her homework in time?
On time. Both sentences are correct. You can
doesn't
say
she also come?
doesn't or does she. So answer would be yes, she does. ठीक है, next. Now exclamatory to assertive. Exclamation आ गया है, ठीक है? How beautiful the sky is. How are you going to convert it into a fact? Assertive sentence fact होता है. The sky is very beautiful. Yes? Next. What an exciting match it was. Now you will see that very lag raha hai because you have already emphasized that you are extremely excited about it. So when you are very excited, a lot excited, you use very, hai ki nahi? So when you make that sentence into assertive, don't forget to write very there. See, what an exciting match it was. Exclamatory hai, you have to convert it into assertive. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will do right now. Please move your seats forward. Which type of sentence it is, children? Bolo?
Imperative sentences?
Imperative sentence. Why do you think it's imperative?
Because it's giving a command.
Sort of, please, request कर रहा है वो. Not command here, command bossy verb से आ जाता है. But request, command, all these are imperative sentence. Next, won't you tell me your name?
Question.
Interrogative, okay? Use the correct keyword. This will not be tolerated. Naitik. Question number 3. Anay, why do I feel that you are parallelly doing something else?
I was writing something.
Achha, okay. This will not be tolerated is which type of sentence?
Exclamatory.
Imperative क्यों लग रहा है?
Ma'am, because ordering you.
No, but it is not starting with a verb, so it's not imperative. It's going to be exclamatory. Sort of. How many of you agree? अभी सिर्फ मैम बोल रही है तो वो जरूरी नहीं है कि वो सच बोल रही होगी. You have to use your brain because I'm also learning with you. Tell me.
Ma'am, I guess you are right because we are not ordering somebody to do something. We're just telling him that this would
You are
be
expressing a strong emotion. You are expressing a strong emotion. So when you express a strong emotion, it becomes exclamatory sentence. Okay? Next, the teacher was showing us a chemistry experiment. ये बहुत easy है. बताओ ये क्या होगा? Use the correct word. Which type of sentence it is? 4th. Anay.
Yes, ma'am.
Which sentence is this? 4th one?
Which one?
ये 4th one नीचे लिखा है ना? The teacher was showing us a chemistry experiment. On the screen. Which sentence is this?
Assertive.
Yes, it is assertive. Anahita, the last one.
How did you? Question.
Yes, but what do we say? What are these sentences known as which end with question mark? The policeman interrogates, right? They ask us questions. So it's interrogative sentence. Chalo, good. Now, next is, since the remaining ones are going to be homework, okay, move on to B. He sings old Hindi songs, change to interrogative. Who wants to try? Or else I am going to call out names. We will be doing 2 and then we will read the story. Reyansh wants to try?
Ma'am, can I try?
Let's see if Reyansh is not ready. Reyansh?
Can
Ma'am, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Does he sing old Hindi songs?
Now यहाँ पर grammar error है रेयांश, ठीक है? आपने एकदम correct बोला, doesn't he sings बोल दिया ना, does he sings. does के बाद फिर से singular verb नहीं आएगा, so it's going to be does he sing old Hindi songs. It's very, very important. I have heard a lot of people making that mistake. Does she holds. She के साथ holds लगता, right? Because she, are you getting my point? Children, she sings. But if I'm saying, does she sings, is it sounding wrong to you? Please, let's discuss. It's very important. Very, very important. Das के बाद verb plural बन जाता है, which means you will not add s to your verb. Okay, how does the cookie came there, Anahita? Cookie कैसे आ गया आपके screen में?
What?
Yeah. Kian, do you want to solve this riddle with me? This riddle? Which riddle is does के बाद हम क्या लगाते हैं? ठीक है? He sings old Hindi songs. Does he sings old Hindi songs? Or does he sing old Hindi songs?
Obviously, does he sing?
But Kian, we will see a lot of people making that mistake. It is not just us, but even senior people make that mistake. क्योंकि he के बाद sings लगता है, but they have forgotten that they have used does also. ठीक है?
Does he sing old Hindi songs?
Yes. So, Reyansh?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Good. Are you going to be careful about it and not make this mistake anytime in future, ever?
Yes, ma'am.
So the best way is say a lot of sentence today with does. He does sing, he does go to school, and then make sentence he goes to school. Automatically, जैसे हमको पता है कि did के बाद past tense नहीं लगता, this particular concept will be registered in your mind. Okay? Okay. Next. Anvika, sit properly. Next. Yes. What a beautiful piece of jewelry. Now, this is in which form? What a beautiful, Samaira, chalo, aap batao ab. Second number, what a beautiful piece of jewelry. ये sentence अभी कौन से form में है?
Interrogative.
No, I can't see question mark there. Although it is starting with what? These are the errors which we say कि silly error है. But I will not say it is silly. I will say that आपने सोचा what है, so what is interrogative, and that's why you said it's question mark. What a beautiful piece of jewelry or jewelry. Come on, Anahita. Which sentence is this?
Can I say? It's easy.
No, Anvika, it's little challenging for the younger ones. Let them answer. Samaira, would you like to correct?
Will the jewelry?
What a beautiful jewelry.
Will the piece of jewelry be beautiful?
No. Anahita, first you have to tell me which style of sentence is this. What a beautiful piece of jewelry. Kian.
Exclamation. Exclamatory.
Exclamatory. Correct, Anahita. Correct, Kian. Now change it to assertive. Come on.
Can I say?
Yes, Anay.
What a beautiful piece of jewelry.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh? No.
This piece
No,
of yes,
Anay.
beautiful. So it will be full stop.
No. But you have to make certain changes
Ma'am,
there.
Piece
Yes.
of jewelry is a beautiful piece of jewelry.
Very good. Both of you, Samaira and Naitik, दोनों ने try किया था ये. किया अनय आपको समझ में आया क्या हुआ? आपके साथ क्या हो गया अभी? What a beautiful piece of jewelry में खाली हटा करके क्वेश्चन फुल स्टॉप लगा दोगे तो 0 मिलेगा. ओके
मैम मेरे साथ तो होते ही रहता है तो नॉट बिग डील.
नहीं होना नहीं चाहिए कियान. इट्स ओके. So it should be, it is a beautiful piece of jewelry, or you can say it is a very beautiful piece of jewelry. A very beautiful के जगह में you can use other things, magnificent, etc. But this is exactly how you have to change to assertive. ठीक है? Let's start reading. I think it's enough for today. Take this as a homework. Okay, done? Done, everybody? 5 minutes का recess है. Let's talk. So latter is often wrongly used for last. Use latter when there are only two. For example, my restaurant offers, say, pizza and pasta. Okay, Anahita? Hello? Okay, pizza and pasta. Which one would you like to choose? So instead of saying that I want to go with pasta, you will say I'll go with the latter one. Okay? So automatically it is presumed. Yeah.
How?
Instead of saying pasta, she said latter. Because I gave you two options, right? I gave you two options, pizza and pasta. So you will say, I'll go with the latter one.
And what if you want to go with the pizza?
Then you say, I'll go with the first one. Okay. Now, I give you three options. See, I give you three options. My restaurant offers or serves pizza, pasta, and Coke. Okay? So Kian says, I would like to go with Coke. So will he say latter here or will he say last?
Last.
Because latter is used only when you have two options. Okay? He's going to say, I want to go with the last option that you've mentioned. Okay.
Do you want tea or coffee?
Then I'll say latter one. Tea or coffee में latter में आपने coffee बोला था तो I'll say latter one. अच्छा, let's play this pronunciation game.
Ma'am,
Yes?
can I leave our class?
Yes, you may. But just pronounce it correctly and then you can. Anay.
Later.
Okay, bye. Okay.
Ma'am, can I try?
Bolo.
Later and latter.
Okay, great. Now, shall we start with the story that we were reading? Okay. See, we have been analyzing a lot of text so that when we write sentences, we will be publishing a good sentence, right? So how do we do that? When we read a good quality text, we often try to copy that and implement in our own writing. Okay? So how many of you attended the story when I was telling the story of Ganesh lost his head? How many of you were there? Great.
Ma'am, I was there.
Perfect. And how I see Samaira, Naisha also there. Kian was there, Ganesha wala story mein? No, he was not there. Acha, haan, you were. Naitik, were you there? Naitik, were you there? Okay, no. So this is just a brief.
Where Parvati meets her new child and
Yes, Parvati, exactly. And then I asked you all to say something in Hindi and you said a perfect Hindi statement, right, Anahita? आप अंदर नहीं आ सकते, something, प्रवेश निषेध, etc. So this is an excerpt from the same book. So here the author, whose name was Vatsala, I don't remember the name now. Let me read it out to you. Okay, and this is a non-fiction text. So it's this is something that the author is trying to say, his opinion, etc. So
He made it up.
He's not made up. He's put facts there. Okay, he's put some facts and his opinion. So this type of writing we have to acknowledge, and we have to understand how he has made interesting sentences, and just not a simple one, this, that, etc. Jaisa humne, how we have read in the previous sentences, right? We will avoid using a lot of pronouns. So let's read. Okay, I want everyone to focus on the writing style for the next 10 minutes, and the remaining text you will have to read at home. Dear readers, you will be delighted to know that India is famous not just for its Bollywood movies, snake charmers, peacocks, basmati rice, and super spicy curry. It is also famous for the stories from its ancient mythology, which are filled with colorful, brave, and mysterious characters. Is it a good sentence, Samira? Right?
Yeah.
They have used a lot of transition words, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Priyansh, a lot of words in between, trying to make simple into compound and complex sentence, okay? When you are doing this, you will have to underline that how many sentences you have identified, how many clauses are there. Now see, I see which, correct? WHICH. Let me mark it for you. People who have not attended the previous class, it's for you guys. See, we don't use simple compound only for fictional writing. ठीक है? Non-fiction में भी हम use करते हैं. ठीक है? So here, when you see this dash, it means ये bracket में था. ठीक है? And इसके बाद आया सत्युग. Okay. Now, I have this thing here, which I have a comma. And then I have and here. But here and के पहले comma है. We know coordinating conjunction के पहले comma नहीं लगता है कि लगता है? लगता है, right? Have you guys forgotten? So, fanboys, if I'm joining two sentences, compound sentence, these are two adjectives, okay? Meera is honest and unhappy, okay? Now, if I was saying something, he missed the bus, okay? He didn't go to school, full stop. Will I use a comma over here? Kids. So is a coordinating conjunction, and I will be using a comma here. If you have forgotten, please watch the previous video. It's very important. Subordinating के साथ comma नहीं आता है, coordinating में comma आता है. But if the sentence is starting from a subordinating word, subordinating conjunction, then to separate the two sentences, you use a comma. Agree? Yes?
Okay.
Yes. Now let's read. It is also famous for the stories from its ancient mythology, which are filled with colorful, brave, and mysterious characters. Hindu cosmology divides time into 4 yugs or eras. Satyug, where people used to say the truth, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Kal Yug. So we are in Kal Yug, okay? Each yug sees a gradual decline of virtue. Wait, kids. Now this line is very important, okay? Each yug sees a gradual decline of virtue, wisdom, intellect, and strength in humankind, which means it is making humankind more and more weak, or would say weaker.
Ma'am,
Okay?
you
Yes.
said with Kali Yuga.
Yeah. Kali Yuga ko I said Kal Yug, because you know what, Anahita, in Hindi language, we say Kal Yuga and not Kali Yuga. Okay, but since it's been written in a foreign context, the author has used Kali Yuga. Okay, and
But
Yeah, ma'am, but we say Kalyug.
Kal Yuga. In Hindi, we say Kal Yuga. Yes, Anahita, anything else you want to add?
but what does Kalyug mean?
Kalyug is the yug in which we are living, which means I'm definitely going to explain you, but I want you to understand this. Each yug, listen, each yug sees a gradual decline of virtue, wisdom, intellect, and strength in humankind. How many of you understand this text? Like, actually understand?
But so do different countries have different yugs?
No, Anahita. It is just a period of time that has been um, that has been told in ancient age. So if we're talking about Hindu mythology, during that time, the ancient Hindu people, right? We are not talking about any other country here, because Greek, they have their own mythology and they make everything around that. Romans, they have their own mythology. So we don't know which year exactly it is. Like roughly we do know, but we don't know in which country it existed. But as per India, this is their culture. So this is according to Hindu mythology. Got it, Anahita? So this yoga is actually a belief of Indian people. So it is not valid on anyone who lives outside India. Okay? It's a religious belief. Okay? That's how they had divided their time zone. Which means if in year 2000, say 2000 to 2005, it was Satyug, they were good people, they were helping each other out, they never said anything bad about each other, they never were never dishonest.
So like if you're in Pakistan, you will still be Kala Yug.
Kalyug. So if I am in India, so for my belief, I will say the entire world is in Kalyug. But a person who lives in any other country, follows any other religion, they are not going to accept what I am saying, that Kalyug. So as per my values and my tradition and the religion that I come from, I define the current age as Kalyug. But you know what the modern generation is going to say? Anahita, wait, Anahita, the modern generation calls the current generation as 21st century, correct? It is just a name that has been given as per the religion. Now let's read. Each yug sees a gradual decline of virtue, wisdom, intellect, and strength in humankind, which means that सबसे strong people would be in Satyug. Right now, we are in Kalyug, so we are the weakest of the lot. We are currently living in Kalyug. The incidents described in Indian mythology took place during the earlier yugs of India's distant past, when gods, demons, humans, wise men, and maharishis and animals walked on earth with ease, and with equal ease could shift from one form of being to another. They could even change their form. They could become a tiger or etc. Things that we have read in Hindu mythology. Yes, Anahita. Yes, so they can change their forms. Yes, you should read. Yes, you should read one of these Hindu mythological book, which is for children. Okay. Next, all of these beings could also have children with one another, resulting in progeny who were half human, half god, half human, half demon, half god, half demon, or a host of other combinations, etc. And each of the groups on earth could converse with the others using a common language that all of them understood. The stories of India's ancient past have left an indelible mark on the mind of every citizen. Even today, millions of Indians name their children after the gods and goddesses of Indian mythology. Yes, we all agree. I'm sure a lot of our names are derived from Hindu
Yeah,
mythological
my
god or
small
goddess.
brother.
Like my name is Avni, which means earth, but it is actually a name of Sita. Okay. Yeah. And then we have Atharv, which is Ganesh ka naam. So people, they follow their religion to that extent. Coming back to this. And they give the names such as Ganesh, Shiv, Vishnu, Ram, Krishna, Lakshmi, Parvati, or Saraswati. And to this day, these gods and goddesses are worshipped in homes and temples all across the length and breadth of the country. So, Kian, I want to say this. Instead of saying throughout the country, they have used a better phrase there. Reyansh, they have used a better phrase, which you can use in your creative writing. That throughout the country bolne se acha hai, you can say length and breadth of India, which definitely means throughout the country. It's a good catch. And that is what I'm trying to teach you, that when you are reading any phrase, अगर आप एक दिन में एक पैराग्राफ पढ़े, but उस पैराग्राफ को ऐसे डेप्थ में पढ़ो कि you can use it in future. Okay, Samaira? Okay, Naisha? Yeah. Next. And that's why a good quality text matters. If you're reading good stuff, you will definitely learn from it. If I'm reading something which has only simple sentences, will I ever learn how to make a complex sentence? Never. Next. Okay, though some may believe that mythological stories of India are based on someone's rich imagination, which means it's completely fictional. Okay? Some people believe Hindu mythology is fictional, and that is why we were having that debate that which genre is Hindu mythology, correct? Because no one has ever seen. It's someone's rich imagination. मतलब how vivid their imagination would be कि उसने इतनी अच्छी story बना दी. Her mythology is in fact her history. India's mythology is actually the history of India. And this rich history has shaped the culture, social norms, religion, and language of the country. But because this history is so ancient, which means it's so old, and the events took place so many thousands of years ago, ये जो इतने बार many है and so hai, this figurative language is known something that is exaggeration, जिसको hyperbole बोलते हैं. So, sort of hyperbole, yes, Samaira. ठीक है? As long as I lived in India, it was easy for me to remain. Now I want you to answer me. ये कौन से पर्सन में लिखा है? फर्स्ट पर्सन, सेकंड पर्सन या थर्ड पर्सन? जैसे मैंने सेकंड सेंटेंस स्टार्ट किया है, सेकंड, as soon as I've started with the second paragraph,
First person.
yes, because before this it was just an assertive sentence, right? They were not expressing any opinion. But from now, this person has started expressing his opinion that during his stay in India, all the things that he's learned, he's sort of made stories from in this book. Correct? So, as long as I lived in India, where I was born and raised, it was easy for me to remain immersed in these mythological stories because every year we also celebrate our festivals, which is built around these stories. Agree? Like Diwali ke liye we have Ram returning back after 14 years of... Come on, complete the sentence.
Exile.
Yes. Exile. Yes, good job. And then we celebrate Holi. Yes.
Choti Holi, burning Holika.
Yeah. So just like that, we have a lot of festivals pertaining to these mythological stories that we have heard. So similar thing happened with him too. Now now this is getting quite excited because now we are going to know his story, the author's story. And then when I moved to the United States to start a family, I was very pleasantly surprised to find that Westerners were quite intrigued by Indian deities such as Ganesh, Shiv, and Ganga. Got it? So just like how, Anahita, you've asked that question, all these belief and all the traditions holds only for people who are inside the country. It is not valid for anyone who's staying outside. Okay, Anahita? Okay, next. They could often figure out that I was a Hindu from India, which prompted them to ask me many questions about gods and goddesses worshipped in my country, in supermarkets and farmer markets, in gas stations and bus stations, in libraries and schools, often in airplanes, etc. These curious people presented their questions to me. Instead of saying these curious people asked questions from me, this is a better way of writing, presented their questions to me. Got it? Try to implement in your writing. If I were to make a list of all their questions, I would need several pages. This unique experience of fielding questions from complete strangers prompted me to write stories for American children about the mythological characters of my homeland. Now, this sentence says his reason for writing the book. What inspired him, what motivated him, and why did he write the story? Agree? Yes? Are you guys understanding my description? Okay. For this work, I studied the sacred epics. Now, epics. What epics means? We say, Mama, how was the food? The food was epic. We always say epic hai. But this epic is different than that epic, okay?
It was written in my book that an epic is a long story, a long poem about heroes and their adventures.
Sort of, yes, you can say then, and it can also come for mythological characters also. But have you ever used epic to describe something, Reansh? I use epic a lot of times, but it doesn't mean the story format. I use, they said, how was the movie? I said, it was fantastic. Instead of saying fantastic, I say, it was epic. Okay? So epic has two meanings. Got it? Everybody? Okay, so I studied the sacred epics such as Mahabharata. Now, if you're writing a story, now the process of writing a story means you have to do a lot of research work. आप ऐसे ही कुछ थोड़ी ना लिख दोगे, because then people are, when they read and they say that you have written something wrong, your book is not going to get published, or people will not buy your book saying that, oh, it is all wrong nonsense that you have written. Okay, and it may come under a lot of criticism, this, that, etc. So let's not go there in detail. Come back to the paragraph. So he read a lot of stories from Mahabharata, Ramayana, shorter text including Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Shiv Puran, Vishnu Puran, etc. These are holy books of Hindu culture, okay? I also realized that all the stories that my mother had told me in my childhood were still fresh in my mind. My mother, Mrs. Narayani Ramnath, had a prodigious and photographic memory. Oh my God, which shows that, his mother was extremely intelligent, highly intellectual person. देखो उसने कैसे describe किया है. My mother had a prodigious and photographic memory for the historical and mythological texts and epics of India. And she could remember them in 3 languages, that's Sanskrit, Tamil, and Hindi. Now, I know with the surname that this person is Tamilian. He's from South India because of the surname. Now my surname is Jain Narayan. A lot of times people think that I'm a South Indian, okay, but it is not so. Okay, so a lot of times we come to know the religion of the person from the surname and the way it is written. In Maharashtra, we have the father's name or the husband's name in between. So my name would be, say, Avni, and then my husband's name and surname. In South India, it's the other way around. They'll have the father's name and then the child's name. Are you guys aware of this? So they have really long names. When I went to my college, that's when I came to know, oh, that people write their name differently. Because for other children who's not coming from Maharashtra, their names are very simple, short and sweet. It would be just Reyansh Agrawal. It would be Kian Doshi. But in Nagpur, in Maharashtra, it's Kian and Papa's name and then Doshi. Right, Kian? So it's a really long name. Coming back to this thing. So during my childhood, we didn't have television, radio.
So, ma'am, in South Indian, it's like Doshi, then my dad's name and then Kiran.
Like yes.
But then in Nagpur also in the boarding pass, it also comes Doshi and then Kian.
Beta, because आपका surname पहले लिखना चाहिए. That's the protocol that they have to obey. That's the protocol that they have to follow. So in your passport also, you will have your surname and then your given's name. ठीक है? Yeah. Chalo. During my childhood, we didn't have television, radio, cell phones, or computers in our home. After school, my four focus. After school, my four older sisters, my brother, and I did our homework quickly, ate our supper very quickly. Supper is early dinner, and then gathered every evening around our mother for our story time. I will ask one question to everybody, and I'll see how alert you are and how much of uh, common sense you can actually use this answer for. Okay, how? Let's see. First, I'll just finish this. As a storyteller par excellence, she regaled us for hours every evening. She was our one and only source of entertainment. Sometimes she read books to us. At other times, she sang large portions of the epics in her sweet and melodious voice. Okay? Try to use these adjectives. And as an accomplished singer of Carnatic music, now this person stays in Karnataka. Okay? Carnatic music Karnataka se hota hai. That's what I feel. I may be wrong, okay? I may not be sure, but we can definitely say this sort of music is from South India. She also composed lyrics and created devotional music of her own to honor various gods and goddesses. She sang these as well, and we sang along with her. Now, if you don't have time, I will not continue, but if you can bear with me for 5 minutes, I can read the entire passage. Shall I? Everybody,
Excuse
or
me,
we can end the meeting. Anvika, last mein dungi my question. Okay, we can end the meeting. Anahita, shall I proceed for 5 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. After telling us the ancient stories of our heritage, she would encourage us to express our point of view and take home messages from any character whom we liked or disliked, which means that they had a good discussion after the story session. She never told us what to think because she wanted us to draw our own conclusions and learn the spiritual and social, cultural, ethical, and practical lessons we needed to learn from the mythological characters. I still recall fondly those evenings spent on my mother's lap listening to stories, and for this unique electronic free time, I'm profoundly grateful to my first teacher, my mother, that he's happy that he did not spend his childhood watching TVs as we do, and we waste so much of our time watching horrible videos on YouTube, which doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make sense. Okay, I found that the inspiration for writing new versions of the story in English for a new American audience came naturally to me. I have added a note to parents and teachers at the end of every story in this volume, in which I examine and discuss significant aspects of the main characters. Now, it's going to be very, very interesting that how he has done character analysis. Okay, I'll share few with you. Each of these stories from India encourages us to seek truth and higher ideals. By example, the characters from Indian mythology tell us how to distinguish between the right and wrong, generosity and selfishness, forgiveness and revenge, fear and bravery. Now, these words are known as oxymorons when आप एक साथ दो चीज opposite बोलते हो. Okay, again a figurative language. Next. Weakness and power, self-serving demands and prayers, seriousness and playfulness, laziness and industriousness. So if a person is highly industrious, which means he works very hard, okay? So we may say he's laborious, or a better way to say is industrious. Distraction and focus. Can you see these are all opposites, kids? Okay, I have to be 100% sure what exactly, yeah, like bittersweet. It's an oxymoron. Now, when we, our children, or our children read these stories with care and attention to the depth and wisdom of the characters, our own tendencies and character tends to improve. Okay, so which means that if we read good quality text, we also become more mature. Okay, so always see which sort of book you are reading, kids. These mythological stories from India also convey the essence of India as expressed in the phrase Vasudev Kutumbakam. The whole world is our family, and Satyamev Jayate, which means only truth wins. I have seen these stories for the present and future of children all over the world. I have written these stories for the present and future of the children all over the world, and I dedicate this book to children with much love. Thank you, Vatsala, Sperling, etc. Okay? Okay. So now my question to you is, why did they have supper and not dinner? Can you give me the reason? I want to see.
It's early dinner. Because they wanted for stories.
I agree, supper is early dinner. I know they wanted to hear the story, but why? Why did they did their homework immediately after coming from school, and then they had their supper, and all that they waited for was to listen to stories?
Because they had no TV to see.
No, nahin, that is also not right. Think about it. This
Because they
person,
loved listening to stories.
you have to deeply think. This person comes from a very backward sector of, say, a village maybe, and it's not something that has happened right now. It's say 50 years or 60 years old story. Or this person may be living when he was, like in 1980s, for example. Yeah, think about it. It's very simple. Why they used to have supper and not dinner? Naisha? I will definitely give you the answer, and that's how the class is going to get over.
After Naisha, can I say?
I have to go now.
Okay, Naisha. Bye. You have to go somewhere, Naisha. Okay, bye. Yes.
The answer I think so is in Indian villages. They think they should not eat in the night, and
Okay.
because they should sleep early.
अरे that तो आज भी मम्मी बोलती है जल्दी सो जाओ. Okay, someone else wanted to
because
say.
there is no light at the night.
ये कौन बोला?
Ma'am, Reansh.
This is the answer. This is exactly the answer because not every village or city had access to electricity. They tried to wind up all their chores which required light, sunlight, such as cooking, doing homework, because raat mein they had night lamps, and you cannot extend your work for a very long time in night lamp. I'm sure you can, but everybody would like to finish their important chores during daylight. And that's why they did their homework when there was sunlight, and they had their supper when it was sunlight and sunset ke time. Got it? Riyansh, ये answer आपने दिया?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Very good. Good. Okay, so that's how we're going to end our session. And thank you so much, guys. It's been uh, almost 1 hour 45 minutes that you are with me, but I hope you guys learned a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow. And either tomorrow the topic that we will be doing is a little higher level topic, so even if you miss it out, it's okay. Okay, we will be doing gerund, participle, and infinitive. Kids, it's important for you all because it's going to teach you how to make better sentences. Like a lot of times we have having a fever, I didn't go to school, etc. So we will learn how to do that. Okay? Bye bye.
Ma'am, I wanted to
Bye bye. Yeah.
tell you something.
Yes. Anvika, you call me, huh? Yes, Anayata.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Kian. Bye, Samaira.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.